What's good, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. You're rocking with the Ugly Boys over at Man to Man Podcast. We're bringing unique vibes to the traditional sports talk show. This is your co-host, Andy Elliott.
Alongside your co-host, Liam, the Hoopstar Nash.
Daddy's back. Daddy is back. Welcome back, my young soldier-in-law. We're on Dash Radio, nothing but net channel. We talking all things basketball. We might throw some girl problems in there. We got a lot of those, okay? We don't got no damn game. Hey, we're on all streaming and social platforms at Man to Man Podcast. Leave the boys a 5-star review. We got to get those motherfuckers up, man. Subscribe to our channel, but most importantly, hey, yo, mom, you rocking that gear yet or nah? All right, listen, get your damn merch. Hey, are you interested in starting a podcast, but you don't know where to start? Oh, my goodness. We've been asked this question more times, and LeBron has corrected his own hairline. I just bought Keeps, Liam, for my hair. I'm going to be having to take some medicine for about 4 to 6 months. I'm losing my hairline at 24 years old, my guy. Our answer, make a great first impression and start with your cover art. Look good, feel good. And what do you do after your podcast better? That's what you do. Fiverr, our guys over at Fiverr, is an online marketplace for freelancers services with low-cost providers from all over the world. And it gets its name from the starting price of services, which is only $5. I know I ain't got $5, but if you got $5, throw it to Fiverr. Let the boys over at Man to Man give you a head start. Hit that link in our description or head over to our website at Man to Man Podcast. There's an S after the T on podcast.com to get started. Daddy's back. Liam, let's talk about your weekend, man. You going on a little bachelor party where you went snowboarding, skiing. You're in Indiana. Would you go 6 hours up north to what?
To Wisconsin Dells.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell us about it, man. How was it? You looking? What are we doing right now, dude? What are we? I'm drinking coffee at 10 p.m. at night right now. You're over, 11 p.m. your time.
Yeah, it's a late Sunday night for us. Just got back in town a couple hours ago. Say the least, I know a lot of people that listen to this, including mothers out there, probably don't want to hear this part, but since about Friday at about probably 8 o'clock to Sunday at about 2 o'clock, I probably am under the influence of alcohol. So
you just got noodled out all weekend?
Yeah, 72 hours just absolutely hammered.
Okay. You went snowboarding, skiing? You got some skiing experience or no?
Yeah, so I went skiing when I was littler and stuff like that, but I mean, it was I mean, I knew how to ski. A couple of guys that we were with, not so great, but it was all right because you know what? I said, fuck it. At the end of the day, I'm about to go do my thing. I'm gonna get my runs in, so you guys learn, and I'm gonna just take the slopes.
You think you're thinking you're amateur, but almost like amateur pro amateur.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
What are the levels here? Is it like just straight up rookie and you don't know how to do it, amateur and then professional? You think you're at that amateur level?
Yeah, I think you got the definitely rooks out there. You got the the James Wisemans of the world out there. Just know what they're athletic enough, but don't quite know what to go on.
What's the difference between a bachelor weekend and a bachelorette weekend? Because the girls, they got the dick straws and everything else. Anything like that? Anything crazy like that you guys threw for the boy, or is it just, hey, we're gonna go hang out and go skiing and then?
Yeah, it was more
we'll make you a Pornhub account for just this one weekend, or what happens there? I don't know.
It was more like a celebration of his engagement, his weddings in a year and a half or so, just because the whole COVID situation out there. But yeah, we just basically just the boys getting together and getting a bit fucked up and doing something fun. But yeah, skiing is fun for me, but there was a learning curve because when you haven't skied in a while, it's just like riding a bike. You know how to do it, but then you get on the skis and you're gonna bust some ass. Trust me, you're gonna hurt. I got a couple.
You got a couple bruises
on the ass, in the ass cheek area, just because I fell down a couple of times. But
what's easier? Is snowboarding easier or skiing? I haven't done both. I've done neither.
I mean, I think skiing is the easiest, and then you go to snowboarding. But I've been telling a lot of people now, I wish I learned how to snowboard first and then move to skiing because, skiing is fun and all, but like snowboarding is a different whole game. And I'm like, hey, let's get after the snowboard.
Snowboard looks cooler, I feel like.
Yeah, also. But it's just so much harder. I mean, I've tried it and I'm like, all right, there's no way in hell I can snowboard. Skiing, on the other hand, I mean, you got it's like water skiing, and I've been water skiing my whole life, so it's like I know what
Right.
I'm doing here. So like,
Appreciate that invite
you
also.
still no invite. You'll get the invite this summer. We'll
Yeah,
make it
Liam
a
and I
whole
have been
trip.
friends for almost 2 decades now, and he's yet to invite me to the lake house.
I
I
told
don't really
you.
get it, dude.
I told you we'll get you to the lake house this summer. It's already
Okay,
planned
okay.
out.
I'll give you an excuse because we were in totally different states and colleges, but now at this point, when we're kind of regrouping and then maybe a little after COVID, we can do something and set it up. But after that, dude, I don't know. I
Yeah,
want to go though. What about okay, so you're back.
I'm back.
Glad you made it back in one piece. Daddy is back. That's our episode. Daddy's back. And it's almost like your daddy in this episode. Then we're gonna talk about Anthony Edwards just baptizing this guy.
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you before we move on.
Yeah.
I get a phone call or I get a text message on Friday night, and on
Yeah.
Thursday of this week, we got our little team of people that help us out on the
You
whole
can just
social
call them
media.
interns. We have interns now. That was the biggest.
That's our big
announcement that we've
news.
been
Yes,
trying to. Yes.
we've hired some
Interns
interns
now. I don't
now
know.
here on Man to Man, and I thought I sent out a very good message to everybody and say, hey, I'm not gonna be here this weekend, so if you have any questions, send them to Andy.
Yeah.
And they did a great job. The interns did a great job. No questions to me.
Can we just shout them out real quick?
Yeah,
First week.
Yeah, really good job.
Interns absolutely killed it for us this week. It's hard to, we have 2 people on our social team, one person for our merch/graphic designer, and the other person as our PR team. We're talking to agents and publicists right now we started with the Celtics. We got a couple guys coming back, hitting us back up. Stay tuned for that. But they killed it just getting on our socials, and it's hard to adjust and saying, hey, post like this, post like us. And our views are back up. So that's what we needed help with. So they killed it, man. Shout out to the interns. We're thinking if you guys want to hear, like, I don't know, we do like our girl talk or whatever, girl problems at the beginning. Liam and I were thinking, let's just throw one of the girls like on the up front, and you guys might relate to it a little bit more. I don't know who's listening. Probably for our Dash listeners, probably like, what the hell are these guys talking about right now, dude?
Definitely.
They killed it. I just wanted to give them a shout out real quick.
Yeah, but so I sent out a good message on Thursday saying, hey, I'm not going to be here this weekend. Good job first week. Got any questions, send them over to Andy. He'll handle it, and he'll get back to you. And they did a great job with that, right? Mm-hmm. My first message was from Andy and was like, hey, I got this weird phone call on Friday night. What's going on? And I was like, hey, I told you I'm on vacay for a weekend. I'm not answering phone calls. I'm not answering emails. None of that shit. I'm taking my couple days off for a second. And of course, the first person to fucking hit me up is you talking about your girl problem. So I gotta ask, walk me through what's going on here, man. I just learned about what's going on. You got a little phone call from somebody. Take us through this, man. You got to tell the people.
Are you a little surprised about this?
I was definitely surprised when I first heard you on Friday night say, hey, I got a phone call.
Okay. So I get a phone call from my ex. We dated for about 1.5 years, closer to 2 years. We broke up in Chicago, kind of parted ways. It wasn't a great relationship, whatever. Learned a lot from it, to say the least. And that was back in March. I think we haven't talked for 7 straight months. She calls me on Friday night. It's like 12 o'clock. I'm on TikTok. I don't know. I got one hand in the pan, one on my phone watching TikTok. No Addison Rae, just random stuff that guys do. But she calls me and says, hey, what's up? I'm thinking, okay, I see the name jump on my phone. My heart's racing a little bit. I don't know. It's like if I hadn't talked to you in like 7 or 8 months, I'd be like, you're calling me. I'm like, okay, I almost got to prepare for what's about to go down. Long story short, she had a couple drinks. I can tell that voice from her. And she's in an Uber. She goes back to her crib. We start, talking and deucing it out. It was more of a genuine, her intentions were more of a genuine, hey, like I haven't talked to you in 7 straight months. What are you up to? Let's catch up. Little part that I'm leaving out here is after we dated, about a month later, she gets another boyfriend. So it was a bit of a slap in the face for me. And so, she was asking me if I'm dating people, if I'm going around. I said, listen, I ain't got no damn game. I'm not dating his ass. All right. And so there's just not a lot of women out there that, they don't like me. I don't know what's going on. But she was like, let's be friends. Aren't you going to ask me about my new boyfriend and relationship? And I'm thinking, hold up now. That's kind of more of a soft spot for me. And she's like, I'm super happy. He's taking me to places like Hawaii. He's paying for me, treating me like a queen. I said, listen, girl, I'm down to be friends with you, but you can't. I feel like, you don't do that. That's more of like another slap in the face, stab in the back. It's pretty much what happened. I mean, we talked about watching The Bachelor and shit, normal stuff, and it was good to just talk to her. But she's the one asking to FaceTime, I don't know, man. I was telling my madre about this, and she's like, man, I don't know. I think she wants to keep you in this corner and this other guy in the corner. She weirdly still cares about you. I'm over it all, man. But if, you want to talk and be friends, and then on the other hand, you want to talk about your relationship type everyday type beat is what I was telling you. I don't know, man. It was definitely a weird flex talking about how she was going to be in Nashville in a couple weeks. If we saw each other, it wouldn't want to be weird between us. That's weird.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing where I told you off the rip. I was like, hey, because I've been in that kind of similar situation, and I've told the other person in that relationship, hey, off rip, I don't want to hear about your relationship with the other guy. I'm down to talk to you every week. Like I'm cool with you. Hitting me up saying we're just friends. Hope you're doing good and this and that. Mm-hmm. But when you start talking to me about him or the other guy in that that you're in a relationship with now, I'm like, hey, I'm hanging up. Like, I'm not hearing that. That's not why that's not why I'm here. I'm here to either comfort you and be your friend. At the same time, like, you're in a relationship, type deal. So I'm like,
right,
that ain't for me. I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't know. I was like, I don't want to talk about it. And she was like, well, I don't know if we can be friends, and we can't talk about that kind of stuff. And I said, what? I didn't say that. I was like, hey, it's been 7 months. I know that might seem like a long time to you, but after a serious relationship, you don't really want to talk about that. I don't know, man. It was definitely good to talk to somebody like that, but it was at the same time, I was like, I don't know. I was asking her how many drinks it took to hit me up. I was just gonna wait till I don't know. It was to say the least. I think I put in a group text and with our interns. They're all females, so they can I said, hey, am I in the wrong here? And they're like, hey, no. What did she say? Depending on the relationship and stuff, a lot of the time exes don't keep in touch and they aren't friends, right? So somebody said also, I think making the right decision for yourself is important. And if you aren't comfortable talking to her, then there's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally comfortable talking to her, but just don't talk to me about the guy taking you to Hawaii and you just got done with a 10-day trip in Hawaii with the person that you're so in love with and all this other stuff, man. I don't know, man. It's like, okay, I don't got any damn game. I'm getting ghosted now. That's bullshit.
See, it would be. I feel like we'll stop right here because I'll be that other side. It would be different if you were dating somebody right now and you could be like, because it's almost like she's showing off, like, hey, I just went to Hawaii. I'm so in love with the dude.
I'm going hiking. I'm doing stuff that I've never done before.
And it would be different. Shit. It would be different if you could be like, sorry, I can't say that, but like, it would be cool if you could be like, yeah, I also met somebody and I'm really happy right now and I'm doing this and that and kind of showing off your girl too. But to do that when she probably knows you're not dating somebody, that's another reason why she might have called in the first place, at least from what I would say. Like, you can't just do that. That just is wrong on so many levels.
I don't know, man. It was like it wasn't awkward between us when we were talking. Everything was flowing, but it's almost like that's a little bit selfish on her part. I wouldn't just, if we can't be friends, if we can't talk, I don't know. It's a weird situation, man. For the little bit older guys out there listening to us, you guys probably think we're fucking idiots, man, but it is what it is.
But
we gonna talk about basketball now.
Yeah, we are a basketball podcast. We had some great games this week. I mean, barring none this weekend, I didn't really get to watch much, but I did catch up a little bit. But let's talk about the Heat and the Lakers. That rematch of the finals. It was a good game, right? It came down to the wire. I'm gonna stop
you right there, okay? It was a good game.
It came down to the wire. I saw it.
Any of you didn't even watch. So before Liam and I were preparing for this episode, Sunday night, 30 minutes ago, I said, Liam, did you see the Anthony Edwards dunk? My guy hadn't even seen the dunk. So if you think this guy watched the Heat Lakers game or the Celtics Pelicans game that we're gonna get into, I told Liam, you're just gonna be kind of a guy that'll introduce the topics. If you want to do a little hot take, I'll believe you. But I was telling you're almost like the average listener. So I like it though. Let's fake it till we make it.
So tell me about this Heat Laker game for the ones that actually watched it, unlike myself. Go ahead, tell me about this Heat.
All right, so we got the video up right now.
Yeah, we got it.
All right. Let's get the video up. We have the ending clip right here. Solid game. Pretty much went down to the wire until the fourth quarter. It was more of a defensive game for both teams. The Heat scored like 15 points. Lakers had 17. And I don't know. I think the Lakers and Heat have played twice this season. I think I fact checked that, and they've lost both times to the Heat. Obviously without AD, and then last play of the game, LeBron makes an amazing steal from Jimmy Butler off rip of the, out of bounds or whatever, half court. Caruso gets it, throws it to LeBron. LeBron gets doubled, throws it back to Caruso. And you've seen the Jimmy Butler picture where he's laying down or whatever, excuse me. It's Wesley Matthews is doing that same thing. So I don't know if you got a hot take for this. Right now, what I'm thinking is the Lakers have to make it to this All-Star break. And the last games are, I think, on March 4th or 5th. They have to make it because right now I'm not having great hopes with the Lakers this year. And I don't know if that's a thing that I just get with the Lakers every single season, especially into the middle of it where it's like, okay, they're losing games. It's almost like if the Lakers lose 2 or 3 games, it's kind of weird. And people are like, okay, I don't know anymore. But with other teams like the Jazz, the Clippers that we just saw tonight, we'll get into a little bit later. It was just, there's a lot of other teams, the Nets, like there are a lot of other teams that are going to be coming for the Lakers next. And if you're getting beat by the Heat, also like another little rivalry game, I guess, if you want to call it. I don't know if it's a rivalry or not, but
I think
obviously
it has
some
to
tension there. Yeah, obviously there's some tension there. And you're losing to the Heat, who we talked about last week's episode. They're not good this year. Defensively speaking, like, I don't know. They have to make adjustments in the trade deadline, but Lakers, in my eyes, have to get to the trade deadline or have to get to this All-Star break right here.
Right. And I like that you said that because my take on this after watching, a couple of games without AD in the lineup is this is the time where, LeBron, he's older. I understand that. But this is the time where the Lakers really need to lean on LeBron. And when you're going 19-9-9, that is a great stat line for anybody else but LeBron when you are down another superstar. This is the time in this game is where he needs to step up and start going, 35-9-9. And we saw that, earlier this week when he scored the points correctly, but he didn't get everybody to that level of, exceeding the expectations and kind of leading his team because he scored, 32 points or whatnot, but he didn't. It just felt like to me he wasn't the explosive LeBron that we expect him to be. And then in a time without AD, like I said, this is a time that you have to be that leader and turn on that playoff switch that he has, and he does have that switch, and we've talked about it before. Is just like he kind of coasts until it gets to the point of like, all right, this is the time to turn it on. Let's make it to the playoffs, and let's do what we do day in and day out when it is time to perform for the world, basically. And in this game and the previous games, because obviously you trying to shout me out and watch this game, but this is the same thing that I've been saying kind of and seeing from him in the last couple of games without AD. And I agree. The Lakers will, they can still beat these mid-major teams and lower tier teams. But when it comes to the Heat, obviously they're trying to put it together and get the chemistry right. But they're not going to be a Nets team, which we saw. They got fucking blown out by the Nets. And
there's excuses here and there, and that's another thing. Like Schroeder, just before this game was out, Schroeder's out due to safety and health protocols for 7 days. No AD, and it's kind of funny because when you talk about the GOAT conversation and everything else, it's like, okay, well, does LeBron need other guys to help him out? Now, LeBron is having to play more minutes due to injuries. He had 37 minutes in that game. Probably not used to that in a minute, just with AD on the floor and him being able to sit out. But that's just the way the day of this NBA game is played out right now with different all-stars on every single team. But with a team like the Heat, You have to beat them, even if you're without those guys, I feel like.
Right. I think another thing is that we all get kind of caught up in is we don't realize the greatness of LeBron James because we see him back in his early Cleveland days, right? Of taking a team to the playoffs. And you got to look at that Cavaliers team. You take anybody from that team, they're nowhere near where they are. We're talking, Gibson. We're talking, Ilyasova. Like those guys, Gooden. Those guys are not.
I think Ilgauskas.
Yeah, those guys are not real.
Bears.
Yeah, we're not. Those guys aren't good, elite players. And now that LeBron's in his later days, he does need that superstar. We saw in Miami, kind of, transitioning to his prime. I would say you need another superstar alongside him to get it done in the playoffs. And without his other, sidekick, so to say, in Anthony Davis, it is going to be so much more pressure on him. And we see that. It's like, hey, LeBron James is very good. But on the other hand, to make that conversation of the GOAT, Michael Jordan needed his Scottie Pippen. So he always did need somebody else there alongside him to get the dirty work, so to call, done for him. And without AD right now, that I think we see the struggles that the Lakers are kind of going through right now.
Don't think we'll see AD playing in the All-Star game at all. Lakers shoot 40% from the field, below 40% from the field, and below 30% from the free throw or 3-point line on Saturday night. But let's talk about this game today.
Okay.
Celtics Pelicans. I don't know if you caught it.
I was gonna say you're gonna shoot me with this shot too. Hey, I didn't catch this. I've been in the car all day, 7 hours today. Come on now, I didn't catch this game.
From the 6:30 mark of the third quarter through the end of overtime, the Pelicans held. Hey, Coco, chill out. The Pelicans held Boston to just 36 points on 32% shooting, and this was the largest comeback in franchise history for the Pelicans. It was a great game. I love these games that come on at like 2:30 on a Sunday because I'm scared out of my mind on these Sundays. If I can just, relieve the anxiety a little bit and just watch professional basketball, it just makes the day so much greater. But this game was sick. I mean, the last 10 seconds was nuts. As Pelicans down 1. They trust Zion. They asked Zion goes to the basket. If you want one guy scoring for you at the end of the game, it's either going to be BI or Zion, in my opinion. Zion gets the and 1. They're up 2. Jason Tatum, what does he do? He Jason Tatums. He goes, hits a floater at the other end of the floor, ties the game. Overtime points, 12 points for the Pelicans, 7 points for the Celtics. But, man, what a great game to watch. I feel like this just is giving the Pelicans, they're 12th in the West right now, a little bit more confidence. We're going to talk about, the Lakers have to get to this All-Star break. Well, what about, because they're losing so much, but what about these teams like the Pelicans who are beating great teams like the Celtics are going to end strong before this All-Star break? And that's kind of what these teams are looking to do to build more momentum. I don't know, man. It was a fun game for me to watch. I'm a big Zion fan. Obviously big Lonzo fan. Anything you took away from this game?
Right. After looking at it and seeing how the Celtics have been performing as of late, I'm just going to reference as of late because the Celtics obviously have not been performing like they have been in the last 4 to 5 years of making, 4 out of the 5 last Eastern Conference Finals. And this is where I'm worried as a fan of basketball for a team like this because the Celtics have not been good this year. And everybody's been expecting them to go far and do this and do that. And it's like, wait, the Celtics are accustomed to doing this. And when they're not getting the results, that's the even bigger question of that. But you have to take into account that the Celtics have been battling injuries and battling players on the floor at the same time. And we see, Jason Tatum out. We see Marcus Smart out. We see Kemba Walker out.
Marcus Smart is a huge blow to being out on the defensive side of things for the Celtics right now. We'll say that.
Right. So all these factors you have to look at for the Celtics. But as a young group that they are, that is where the worry starts to seep in because these guys, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, he's a vet in my eyes. But but with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, those are the stars on that team. And they haven't been through something like this ever at all. struggling. They're used to winning. They're used to just clicking in and out, not dealing with injuries and stuff like that. So that is where the worry seeps in. And it looks like in this game, giving up a large 24-point deficit, Celtics are kind of known for that. We see that last year in the playoffs with the Raptors. They given up, multiple big leads to teams that really shouldn't do that. And that's where the questions start for me. So Celtics have to turn it around. They're like 5th or 6th in the conference now, in the Eastern Conference. So I don't know if they just need to get healthy and then we can reevaluate. But on the other end, Pelicans are looking nice.
Yeah, no, they're looking great. They're looking
Zion.
I mean, that's the thing that Lonzo said after the game is, I get this wrong every single time. Is it Jeff or Stan? Stan Van Gundy. Yeah, it's Stan. Okay, cool.
Jeff is the announcer. Stan is the coach.
Stan's the guy with the cheeseburgers. Okay, so Stan is. Yo, you gotta chill, dog.
No, you gotta chill, dog.
Lonzo said after the game that Stan puts him and Josh Hart, another guy who I want to shout out. Josh Hart might have been the player of the game, just with his energy. He's all right. I mean, Josh Hart is just a good player all around, but he's more known for guarding the best players on the other team. Same with Lonzo. That's what they were saying, that Stan was putting those two guys on the best players for a reason. I don't know if Lonzo's better defensively, but he is. I think Lonzo's not signing that long-term extension contract. They're, testing him out, see if they want to sign him. But, we were talking about him being on the trade deadline, maybe going to Chicago. I don't know, man. I like the Pelicans a lot. But Zion, we'll just see what you still think he's overrated or underrated. I know we talked about that. It's just a guy. I was saying he's underrated. He's hugely underrated. It's just a guy they believe in him. They believed in that shot he took, and he did it. Like, he's not. I think Zion's perfectly rated or underrated.
Right. I was gonna say we kind of phrased it as overrated or underrated, but you made the comment that, or is he perfectly rated? And take out everything else that we've seen about Zion from his college days moving into the NBA to his injury. Perfectly rated right now, because some people think, hey, he's the next, superstar of this league. Some people would say, hey, try to make the argument, hey, he came off some injury. He's too big, too clunky, but he still could be potentially the best player in this league. I think right now he is right where he needs to be. Media's building him up, and he just has to reach expectations, but not buy into those expectations.
Is Zion Williamson an all-star this year?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you give it to him just because of last year. If he would have, been on the floor and, doing his, double-double average or whatever, close to, and then he comes out this year and does this, he has to be named an all-star to that extent. But we only seen Zion in the last, I guess it's 7 or 8 games now, really turn that switch on, like I'm talking about for these types of players, LeBron, Zion. He's really turned that switch on and said, hey, we can do this. Like, he's averaging 28 points over the last 6 games, 7 games. So he has that potential. He just has to keep showing it, in my eyes.
I agree. Zion out here, perfectly rated, maybe all-star next year. We're going to see him catching bodies for years to come. But speaking of catching bodies, I think we want to switch over to our couch conversations, if you don't mind, Hoop.
Yeah, let's talk about some couch conversations.
Conversations is something that we've added as of last week. This is more of just like, hey, Liam and we're going to stop fucking reporting with all these numbers and stuff. It gets boring. We want to talk about fun stuff that guys are just, and lady friends are just drinking beers or drinking a damn wine, prosciutto. I made that word up. Just sitting on the couch and just asking questions, right? So speaking of catching bodies, which NBA player has the highest body count, Hoop? I'll go ahead and throw mine out.
Go ahead.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
I think he's got a couple of kids here and there. We saw his phone was leaked when they won the NBA Finals last year, and he's talking to some girl on DM. Definitely got to be one of these guys, the younger guys. maybe a Devin Booker, Oubre. We hear about Booker kind of hanging out with some P stars and then being in these circle gatherings. But I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dwight Howard, just an older head, but still, I think he's single and got a couple of kids. Dwight Howard is my guy.
I think I'm going down the same road. They got a little connections there. I think I'm going J.R. Smith with the most bodies.
Oh,
most bodies. I feel like J.R. Smith low key can slide into the DMs and be like, "Hey, I got you. Let's do it one time." And then he's like,
"Let's do it one time."
And he's like, "All right, I'm out. Thanks for the night. Appreciate it. Let's do it. Never again."
So, are you thinking that these NBA players are answering DMs only from blue check mark women influencers, or do you think they try to find more of the low key girls with 10K, 11K, and then I don't know?
I'll be honest. If I'm up there with an NBA player, as if I was an NBA player, you can organize your DMs. You can go to the verified DM. Like you can switch over
and see those first.
Hey, I'm clicking all verified. See if somebody important hit my line, and if somebody bad little girl hit my line, I'm like, all right, let's hop on that and see what she's actually about. Maybe send her a little smiley face and see if she responds.
Okay, so what about another guy, Malik Beasley? Is you think a guy like him is just more into the older women, see what's out there, see what he can bite?
I mean, Malik Beasley, let's just stay away from him. He's on that wire of like, I don't know what type of shit he's on. You know what I mean? Like
I think my guy just got a bipolar disorder or something, dude, with women when it comes to women. But all right, we got Dwight Howard and J.R. Smith. Both good looking dudes, I guess. What's your body count?
I'm not disclosing
right, so
that big dog. You want to disclose yours? Come on now, you ain't doing that.
Nah, I don't got no damn game. So we see Pau Gassol make a return to the NBA. He just signed with FC Barcelona for the rest of the season. He plans to play at the Tokyo Olympics next summer.
Right. I think for Pau Gasol, he had a good run. He's played with great players. He's got to play with Kobe. He's got some a ring or two, and I think at the end of the day, you have to know when it's your time. And when you don't get signed to an NBA roster and you're at that age, you have to kind of realize, hey, I got to take another alternate route. Maybe get on the mic. Are you serious right now? We in the middle of the episode and you out here trying to look good. Because people tell you look sleepy as hell. You should be sleepy as hell. We're recording late than a motherfucker out here. Come on.
What are you talking about, dude?
Are you serious? Are we doing this right now?
My fault, dog. My fault. I just gotta throw this concealer on real quick, dog. Can you keep going though?
You make this recording stuff so hard, so tough. But yeah, I think he'll end up, he'll perform this year. Probably not get a contract, and he'll probably support his older brother with the Lakers this year, and after that, his NBA career is definitely probably over.
You think he's gonna make it on the Lakers this year?
No, his brother.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's gonna be rooting his brother on and be like, hey, congratulations, let's get that dub this year, another win. But talking about the Olympics. What about Team USA then? What do we got? What do you think about this? Isaiah Thomas is on this team.
Yeah.
I don't even really know
what's going on.
Team USA for us, like we just throwing players of like not in the NBA, just hey, go hoop and get the qualification, and then when it comes, we'll see if we're gonna send our core group of guys type deal.
Right.
What's going on
I think that's what's going on. IT, no one has much interest in him from a lot of these NBA teams. So he just found this other avenue to kind of showcase his talents. IT is a guy I think somebody could use him in the NBA. Joe Johnson, another guy that he's in the big three. But there's the big three aren't. Yeah, shout out Big Three. But I don't know what Big Three's doing right now. I think Ice Cube wants to do something come summertime. They might do a bubble type beat. But I think it's they can't throw these players out in the NBA for these qualifications. I think this weekend, let me see, they beat the Bahamas. They're in San Juan right now, and they're qualifying for the 2022 Ameri Cup. No idea what that is. Is that a part of the Olympics? Because I thought the Olympics, I guess it is part of the Olympics.
You have to
for next summer.
You gotta accumulate so many wins to be qualified for the Olympics or something like that. And
Right.
I think it's funny almost to the point that we're throwing guys that aren't in the NBA that are trying to make a name for themselves
Yeah.
to these qualifiers, and hey, we're still gonna get the job done and qualify. And then
Which is sick, dude. Well, we don't even have to throw our all-star guys. We just throw guys off the street that used to play in the NBA and we'll still beat you.
right, and then hey, when the big guns come out, the Olympics come around. Hey, we're sending a whole nother squad towards you.
It's a whole nother squad. I said, hold on, we haven't been practicing for these guys.
Right. We'll see.
Yeah, but he looks good though. I think IT looks good. He had like 19 points in his first game. Joe Johnson's looking good, and I don't know. I don't know if it's his height or whatever it is about IT. Top 5 guy considered for the MVP a couple seasons ago, and it's just I've heard IT recently speak on it, and he's like, you know what? I've dealt through this, all the adversity throughout my life. I've been at the highest of highs. I've been at the lowest of lows. I've been doubted so many times by so many doubters. I'd love to see Isaiah Thomas come back, man. It's like a mellow type situation. Obviously, you know, IT and up to that sort of caliber, but I'd love to see a guy like that make it back to the league. JR last year, make it back. Dwight making a name for himself. So we'll see what happens. I don't think Joe Johnson will make it to the NBA, though.
I don't think that, but
He's just getting up there.
IT definitely has the opportunity to make like that backup role again if he performs well here. Let's move into this though. You mentioned this to me a little earlier in the week. We were talking about just, topics that we could, talk about, and we saw that Kawhi Leonard is almost, you brought up Larry Bird and Kawhi Leonard and compared them with, career points in a game and this and that. Are we talking about them on the same level yet, or is this kind of thing of like Kawhi still has to prove himself and get to another level of championships won and just all overall domination of league to get on that level? I don't really know. For me, it's too soon to compare him to that, but I don't know. You brought this up to me. I think it's very interesting to talk about, actually.
I did. Not a bad topic, right, dude? All right, so Kawhi, if we want to talk about rings, because everyone talks about rings, Kawhi is 2, right. Larry Bird is 3.
Right.
I don't know if he gets to 3. They're in the same conversation. I did see some wild stat that Kawhi's career high in points is 45. Larry Bird's is 60, but he had 47 one game with his left hand.
Right.
So,
so you're telling me that Kawhi has to go out 1 game, 2 games, and start shooting left-handed because he needs to make the comparison, or what?
I don't know. I think that just says it itself. I don't think they're in the same conversation. Not yet. Close, maybe. Maybe.
How many points you scoring with your left hand in a little pickup game?
I ain't scoring jack shit with my right hand. All right, like I can't just get in there and
wait.
Do
so
that.
Does left hand layups count? That's my question. Like, are we counting
left hand layups? I mean, Bird was hitting hooks, dude. He was hitting hooks with his left, hitting jumpers. The craziest part, because I had to go back and watch these highlights. I said he wasn't hitting 47 with his left. He's pump faking with his right. And by the end of the game, these guys are still buying his pump fake with his right. I'd be like, you shoot it with your right. I know what you're doing now. You're just going to shoot it with your left. As far as Leonard's a 4-time All-Star. I'm just reading some stuff here. He's MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time member of All-NBA, 5-time All-Defensive Team, 2-time NBA champion with 2 Finals MVPs. I just don't have time to go to what Larry Bird had, but it's Larry Bird. Right. No way Kawhi is in the same conversation as Larry Bird.
Not yet. Well, that's what I'm saying. He has
Not
to.
Yet.
He has to, build his resume up a little bit more. But let's talk about somebody else. I think that is kind of in the news right now and trying to build his resume up, kind of leaving the NBA scene for a little bit and trying to make his name back up. Demarcus Cousins, right?
Yeah.
He said he could be, Rockets came out and said, hey, we're looking to, part ways, move on from Demarcus Cousins. What do you think about this? And maybe what teams should try to look at him almost, what are we thinking here?
All right. So obviously it's like Lakers, Nets want Demarcus Cousins, but can these teams just fucking relax for a sec, dude? What is up with these teams want to be like, oh, we have to juggernaut the shit out of our teams? In my eyes, that makes your team weaker. Like, as far as a credibility standpoint, stop going out and try to get people, dude. Like, you made these big changes as far as the Nets go. traded everybody else. Now you have your big three. Clearly, you guys don't even need KD playing right now. You guys are balling. And if you want me to answer that question, it's those two teams are rumored to be looking at Demarcus Cousins right now. I don't know. Warriors could, make a, remarriage with the Warriors. I don't know, man. Demarcus Cousins kind of came out of left field, though. Feel like the Houston Rockets, yes, now we've seen it. James Harden, you guys, that team is just clearly not a contending team this year. No idea when they will be. But I don't know. I thought Cousins and John Wall were doing kind of hot together and meshing well and had that chemistry going. But I guess this is somebody like, hey, DeMarcus Cousins, kind of like Blake Griffin and a couple other guys that they're just Cavs guy.
Andre
Drummond are saying, hey, you still have trade value to you. We're just going to kind of sit you, dude, and see if we can get anything.
Right. I think for DeMarcus Cousins, we have seen kind of flashes here and there of old, Sacramento Kings DeMarcus Cousins, which I love to see from him. And this Rockets team kind of gave him that opportunity to kind of showcase, And the Rockets seem to think, at least front office seems to think that, hey, we see those flashes too. I just don't think we're going to invest in you long term, and we're going to get that value, hopefully, and trade you to another team or get you somewhere else that you can, produce. And biggest thing with the Lakers right now, Anthony Davis has gone down, and
right.
They got their sixth man of the year in. Now I'm thinking I can't remember my guy's name.
From the Nets.
No, sixth man on the Lakers. What's his fucking name? Harrell,
yep.
They need another big body. And Harold, he plays like a big man, but he's only 6'9" and whatnot. They need to rebuild kind of with like the Dwight Howard of 6'11" body. JaVale McGee, big 6'10" or 7 foot body, and adding somebody like a DeMarcus Cousins. And if he could, if he buys in and LeBron James just kind of just takes him to that level that he needs to be, he could, answer some defensive questions and be a good backup to an Anthony Davis just with his length. So I do like it.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of counterpart that. I don't think he's great on defense at all. I think the main concern for DeMarcus Cousins is his defense.
But he's a big body that the Lakers don't have in the post.
True.
With Harold, I mean, he's good defensively, but DeMarcus Cousins can bang with anybody. I don't know if he needs to just go crazy and, start blocking shots, but just another big body. You can make a case that Dwight Howard wasn't great at defense last year.
What?
Last year through the season? No, not at all. He turned it up in the playoffs, and that's what I'm saying. LeBron James can take him to that level of buy in, get to that level and play some defense, learn how to not bite on the first move, that type of thing.
Here's my thing. Looking at both of those teams, who's more locked in?
As of right now, the Lakers are more locked in than the Nets are.
I disagree.
Because the Lakers are locked in because they're coming off a championship, so they know what it takes, and they have to know where they're getting to this year. Nets
are the Lakers. Okay, let me ask you this. Are the Lakers more put together right now?
Yes.
With everybody healthy?
Yes.
Okay.
I
don't think they are, because with all these additions that LeBron's on this team, all right, we need to add all these new guys every single year.
So what are the Nets? What did they do mid-season this year? They went after James Harden. They're not put together.
They're still more collective. Yes, dude.
They lost half their bench.
It don't matter.
No, you're crazy if you're thinking this. You think they're more collective because they have 3 of the top 10 players in the NBA right now. Is correct.
And they're beating teams, good teams, without all 3 of their guys.
You're absolutely crazy to say that they're more put together than the Lakers are that came off a championship. And the only reason they're not, you think that, is because only counterpart to that is Lakers, because they're dealing with injuries and chemistry. The Nets are dealing with injuries and chemistry too, and they have no bench besides who do you want? You want to throw DeAndre Jordan in there? Okay, cool. You got him.
I just think that I don't know, man. I don't think the Lakers have figured it out yet with the new squad. Is all I'm saying. Wesley Matthews, Marc Gasol, Harrell. I guess there's another guy in there I can't even think of right now, but just guys who haven't won a championship before, right? The Nets have guys that have been MVPs that have made big time plays in NBA Finals games. And I think that's why they're more collected. And if you throw this team that is just still trying to figure it out with this new squad and get that chemistry going, then add Demarcus Cousins, it's like, okay, so where does he fit? How does the rotation change?
It's the same move that they did when they got Dwight Howard last year. Know your role, Dwight Howard. You're a fucking bum. But when playoff time comes...
yeah, you got to give him a little bit more credit than that.
No, I'm saying once playoff time comes, you can, eventually work up to where you were and buy in and just own the role that you're in. So that's the only thing.
What team would he be better on?
I think the Lakers. I would say the Lakers right now because LeBron James changes careers for everybody that he's been a part of. So that's why I would say the Lakers. Nets still have to figure out. But let's get into our favorite segment with man-to-man worthy or keep it moving.
Love it, baby.
Let's keep it moving a little quicker here. With I guess we'll start off with the biggest thing that I missed this week of the dunk. I guess some people call it dunk of the year. I don't know yet. Definitely dunk of the year in my eyes so far. Maybe are we talking last 10 years? Who knows? Is this worthy or are we keeping it moving here?
It's got to be worthy, man. This guy absolutely just, after conducting investigation, police have confirmed that 26-year-old Yuta Watanabe has been found dead at the scene of the crime. This guy absolutely got murdered, and I think he's actually in the G League now. Like, they just put him in the G League. They said, hey, man, we don't want to get embarrassed like that. We're already really bad as the Raptors. We're a forgotten team. We don't have Kawhi anymore. We're kind of just struggling. But Anthony Edwards, dude, I didn't even I ain't even watched that much college basketball last year. This guy came out of nowhere. And sometimes these number one picks live up to their hype or they're a bust. This guy didn't know anything about him. He's a fucking stud. He just puts nuts on head. He said, listen, it's just crazy. The reason why this dunk was so crazy is because he just landed on his body.
Right.
He dunked all over his back, and then he just landed on him, and it almost looked like a glitch in an NBA 2K game. And then the best part about that whole series was little AE is looking up the Jumbotron just laughing at that guy. He's like, oh, my goodness, I just baptized this kid, dude. He's going to be sent to heaven immediately after that.
My only take on this is that, Timberwolves, they're a good team, right? Barring returning, what's his name? I'm lost right now. You could tell I've been on a weekend.
Yeah. You talking about Russell, dude? D'Angelo Russell's out for the season, dog.
No, I'm talking about returning Karl Anthony Towns. After his, COVID stuff. But for somebody that said that he doesn't even like playing basketball, it looked like he likes putting nuts on heads, So, I mean, if he wants to keep doing that and he enjoys that, it looks like he enjoyed that.
I'm sorry, is that not an insult to people that want to make it to the NBA? Say like you, for a college basketball guy, obviously I don't know if you had dreams of making to the NBA. I feel like you might have had it in high school until you got some injuries in college. But I feel like that's everybody's dream, especially if they're good enough to hopefully make it to a team.
Yeah.
And this guy is just getting picked up as number one and saying, I don't even like playing basketball. What?
I mean, it looked like he enjoyed that, but that's all I'm saying. If he keeps doing that, I feel like he'll like basketball a little bit more.
Okay. He gonna be in the dunk contest?
He should be after that shit, boy. You can't not miss on him.
Okay.
Next up, Chris Paul. I think this. I think he passes Oscar Robertson, I believe it is.
Robertson.
Yeah. Sixth all time assist leader. Is this worthy or are we keeping it moving here?
Wow.
Shout out Chris Paul. Sorry you're not worthy, but congratulations on your career. Next up. This is something I did see over the weekend on my feed was the ending of the Warriors-Hornets game. Draymond Green gets ejected, and then Terry Rozier.
Yo, are you still drunk, dude?
Bro,
are you okay over there, my guy?
I am working at like 20% right now.
Yo,
Terry Rozier.
Daddy's back. I don't know if he's in full effect though.
Terry
Yeah,
Rozier.
I'll take it. It's worthy. It's worthy,
worthy,
my guy.
right.
So pretty much, I didn't even watch the game. I also saw it on my feed. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I really do.
Yeah, no, I'm here for you. That's what the boys are here for, man. We got you. We don't know what the hell is going on at the time, but this episode, we might not know what the hell is going on the full time. But Terry Rozier or Teddy, whatever, pretty much there's a jump ball with LaMelo Ball and somebody else. I think the Hornets are down 5 at this point with like 12 seconds or some shit crazy like that. Gordon Hayward and Draymond Green kind of tussle for the ball. There's some crazy timeout called. I don't know. They both had it like it was going to be another jump ball. So I think the refs like sold this game a little bit. I think they were actually down 2 with about 12 seconds left. My fault. But yeah, Terry Rozier gets the ball. He does some crazy step back on the corner 3 and just splashes it. So Draymond Green, he needs to chill, dude, because I don't know if this, I got to start fact checking this shit before I actually start blurting it out. But I think he's been ejected or has had to sit out of 5 NBA Finals games in his whole career. And you don't learn by that, like by that time, dude. It's like, come on, man. Don't let the emotions always get the best of you, especially if you're a professional athlete. Come on, man. Do better.
Right. I think that's a great point. They basically lost this game because he got ejected, you know. And the 2 free throws, get the ball back. Terry Rozier gets the chance to win it. Great shot by him. And, you know, I'm glad that the Hornets, they look good as well.
Hornets, another team that looks good. I mean, they look like they're playoff bound right now.
Right, exactly. Next up on the docket, we got the All-Star Weekend. Earlier in the week, we got to see the starters, but we also get to see the coaches, Snyder, Doc Rivers. Is this worthy All-Star Weekend?
Get that shit out of my face, dog.
All right, big dog. We'll wait till the whole roster is released and see what's going down for All-Star Weekend.
Are we almost done?
What?
Oh, you said 6 minutes left, or we only have 6 minutes left?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
We're at 52 minutes right now. We'll cut all this, though.
Okay.
All right. Last up on the docket today, we got Harden and Pat Bev in Sunday night's game getting into a little scuffle. I think I'm going to pose this to you like this. I think we're going to take this as worthy, but my question to you here is, who you got in the fight, Pat Bev, Harden? Go ahead.
I got to take Pat Bev. I got to take Pat Bev all day. A Chicagoan, however you want to say. He's from Chicago. He's from the fucking streets, dude. You got to give it to Pat Bev. I will say that the foul might have been a little bit excessive, but he's just stopping James Harden from absolutely cooking the whole team on the rest of that play. So James Harden, little drama queen, that shit out of my face. And if they're going to square it up, let's put the gloves on, man. But Pat Bev, even though he might not have reach, he might not have height, he's still going to knock you, brother.
I mean, James Harden's been eating some cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
we seen the
burger,
pictures.
He don't got a lot of mobility in him. He ain't got nothing. He's losing the fight.
I think I'm taking the opposite way. He got a little chunk on him. He's gonna take him 1-2 and knock him out real quick.
You looking at that trunk, dog? all right. I see. I bachelor weekend, hang out with the guys in the hot tub, talk about trunks. Okay, new Hoopstar. Here we go.
All right. Let's transition into our weekly gambling segment. Andy, what is your game of the week?
Do you not see what me and you are rocking right now?
Yes, sir. You know what it is.
This is history about to be made this next week. The Pacer Nation is going to be on ESPN twice this week, baby. We gotta win one. My game of the week, Pacers Warriors, Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. EST. Eastern time, on ESPN. I got to take the Pacers spread, Brogdon over 20.
Brogdon over 20. So
yeah, and I will say we did go 0-2 last week. I'm gonna just shout that. But hey, listen, I should have hit my Booker, and you should have hit the triple-double LeBron. That was kind of an absurd bet, but he
was close. He was close.
Take this one, Pacers Warriors. Take the Pacers spread, Brogdon over 20 points. He's gonna be an all-star next year. Hammer this one. Probably be like plus 150 or something. Take it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go into mine. Played the Celtics already this year. Got the job done. Like I said earlier, Celtics are kind of in that middle gray zone, not knowing what their identity is. Celtics Pacers Friday night, 7:30 on ESPN again.
ESPN, baby.
I don't think the Pacers will actually be favored in this game. If they are, it's good for the Pacers. I'm going to go heavy Pacers money line, and I'll do another player prop for you too, taking Sabonis with a double-double. If they win this game, Sabonis has to perform. He's getting that double-double. Easy lock of the week. My game of the week, no doubt.
Quick question here before we ended, Hoop. I'd almost want to be on TNT for one of these games just to hear Shaq and Charles their thoughts and maybe an interview after the game. But
yeah, hey, we'll take ESPN. We'll take any national televised game. Okay.
Okay.
Quick recap of this week. Kind of a slow week for our Pacers. 1-1. Our Rockets game got canceled. Lost to the Bulls in overtime. Bulls are a competing team. You have to show up to that game because they're fighting for wins every night. And then the struggling Timberwolves, we also beat them in overtime. But we're still rocking it, right? We're still
keep
rocking
sleeping, baby. It's Pacer Nation all day.
Yes, sir. But I guess with that, man, hey, good episode this week. I'm sorry I was a little spacey. I'm like I said, I'm working at 20% right here.
Maybe these are our best episodes. I don't know. We kind of just shoot it, and we maybe we should go out to bachelor weekends every weekend.
Maybe so. But with that, guys, this week's episode is a wrap. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, again, please give us a good review, 5-star rating on those Apple and Spotify. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to our YouTube page. That is the most important part. Mm-hmm. But even more importantly than that,
hey, share with your mom and get your damn merch.
Yes, sir. But if you want to keep up with us daily, go follow us on all social media at Man to Man Podcast on all platforms. I'm talking Instagram, Twitter. We ain't got no OnlyFans, no Snapchat, but TikTok game is getting strong. Yep. We got our interns giving us some ideas of how to get those views up. But with that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm out of here. Namaste to you guys. Namaste.
Namaste. Pacer Nation, baby.